Math isn't difficult. Math is fun. I am Nilakanta Bhanu Prakash and I am the fastest human calculator in the world. And we are exploring infinities. Exploring infinities is here in front of you to give you a mathematics learning experience like never before. With expert trainers from around the country, we are here to make you learn math the right way.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Anshika from Exploring Infinities, and we were doing the chapter quadratic equations. So, what exactly have we done till now? We have I have introduced the chapter quadratic equations for you. We did a few examples. We learned how to construct your quadratic equations out of the word problems that you have. Then we learned how exactly do we solve our quadratic equation using the factorization method or splitting the middle term method. So what exactly was that method? That we were looking for two numbers p and q such that the sum of p and q gives you b in your general quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. From that you have p and sum of p and q as b and product of p and q as the product of ac. So we were basically just splitting our middle term, that is the bx term, into two parts, that is px and qx, such that the product of p and q is product of a and c. So we'll start off with an example and we'll see if we can solve that particular example using the factorization method or not. So the example that we are going to do is x square plus 4x minus 4 equal to 0. So this is my quadratic equation, as you can see. So I have to look for now two numbers p and q such that my p plus q gives me 4 and product of pq is minus 4. So now what we used to do is we used to first list the factors of this particular part, that is the product of AC. So my factors of minus 4 will be minus 1 into 4, 1 into minus 4, minus 2 into 2, or again 2 into minus 2. So yeah, so these were the factors that we have for our minus 4. So now if you can see, we'll have to locate a pair which which sums up to give 4 to us. So now if we can see, there is these two are definitely not the pair which can give us the sum as plus 4. So we look into these two pairs. So definitely minus 2 plus 2 gives you 0 in both the cases. So here we actually have a problem that we are trying to convert this into two linear factors, this whole quadratic equation, but we cannot do that. So it means sometimes the method of factorization fails. That is, sometimes we cannot actually look for factors such p and q such that the sum gives you b and the product gives you ac. So in such cases we need another method, a method probably which won't fail for any particular quadratic equation. So let's look at one example so that we can get motivation from that particular example and see if we can develop a method or not. So I say my question is that Sunita's age 2 years ago, the product of Sunita's age 2 years ago and 4 years from now is 1 more than twice her present age. So what exactly have I said? Like that Sunita's age 2 years before and 4 years from now, the product of these two ages is 1 more than twice her present age. So my task is that I have to find her present age. So this is one of the word problems. Okay, so I'll say let Sunita's present age be x. Okay, so now my question is 2 years ago and 4 years from now. So that will give me 2 years ago as x minus 2 and 4 years from now as x plus 4. Okay, so now the question is saying that the product of these two is 1 more than twice her present age. So I'll write x minus 2, x plus 4, 1 more than twice her present age. So this we have an equation. So let's solve. So when I solve it, I have x square minus 2x plus 8, okay, which is equal to 2x plus 1, as you can see. So now, sorry, this is plus. So now if I simplify this, I have x square plus 9, sorry, minus 9 as 0. This is minus, okay. So x square minus 9 equal to 0. So if I now try simplifying this is a quadratic equation, okay. This is definitely a quadratic equation. So if I again try simplifying this, I can definitely write x square is equal to 9, which upon taking the square root, I can definitely take a square root, right? So I'll have x equal to plus minus 3, considering both the plus and the minus of under the root. Oh, okay, so now we were talking about age, so definitely x cannot be minus 3. So this means that our x is 3, that is Sunita's age is 3. So our task is done. So our task was to find Sunita's age. So I got Sunita's age, that is 3 years, her present age. Okay, so now here if you see, I haven't used my method of splitting the middle term, the factorization method, but still I got the answer. How did I get the answer? I used my equation turned out to be somewhat like this, that I had a square term and just one more constant term. So all I had to do is use my under root part over here, so I get an answer. So let's see one more example. So I say that we have an equation like this. So if I want to solve this, what we used to do is we used to first open this bracket up. So now I'm telling you, let's not open the bracket up, let's see what happens. So I have x plus 2 whole square equal to 9. So now again this situation and this situation is somewhat similar. You can definitely take the under root of 9 in this case. So you have x plus 2 is equal to under root 9, that is plus minus 3. So the only difference between these two cases is that when you took the under root in this first case, you directly got the answer, but now here you have to consider both the cases with x plus 2. So in the first case, x plus 2 will be equal to 3, and the second case, x plus 2 equal to minus 3. So if I solve this, I get x equal to 1 here and x equal to minus 5 over here. So I basically have the answer 1 and 5, again without using the factorization or splitting the middle term method. So what are we exactly observing in these two examples? That we are getting a square, we are making a particular part of the x as perfect square, and we are getting a constant term outside of it. So what we are doing is we take the square root of whatever constant we have. So this is the next method that we are actually developing. We try and bring out a perfect square in our question and solve it somewhat like this. So let's see how exactly do we develop it, and let's see how exactly we apply this particular method to this question that we started off with. So we have this question. So this method is known as completing the square method. Okay, so the first thing we do is whatever constant we have, that is in the general form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, whatever constant form you have, or else you first look at your a, make sure that you keep your a as 1, so that it becomes easier for us to deal with. So my next step will be whatever constant we have, I take it to my RHS. So it becomes x square plus 4x equal to 4 in this case. So my first step is done. I take my constant to my RHS. So my next step is that I try and make my LHS as perfect square. That is, I try and make it somewhat like this, that is in the form of some x plus some a and the whole square. So it means when I open it up, I need somewhat like x square plus 2ax plus a square. So I need somewhat like in this form in the RHS, so that I can write it as x plus some a and the whole square. So what I do is I try splitting whatever bx term I have into in the form of 2 into something into x. So in this case, as you can see, if I write x square plus 2 into something into x, so that something here should be 2, because I tried splitting my 4x in the form of 2 into x into something that's a, so that a in this case is 2 basically. So I have actually tried splitting my 4x in the form of 2 into x into a. So this is equal to again 4, what the equation we had. So now if you see in this equation, you realize that your a actually in this equation is 2. Okay, so when you try comparing it, you actually have this much with you over here, and according to that your a is basically this 2. So what we now do is we add the a, whatever we get, the a, that is in this case 2 square to both the sides, that is we add 2 square to both LHS and RHS because we have to actually maintain the equation. So what I do is x square plus 2 into 2x, that is 4x, plus 2 square equal to 4 plus 2 square. I added basically 2 square on both the sides. Okay, so this was my next step. So now you can see I actually have this entire thing with me, x square plus 2ax plus a square. So I can write this thing as x plus a square, a that is 2 in our case, the whole square, plus 4 gives me 8. So now if you can see, I actually have, the example, the way we did the example, x plus 2 whole square is equal to 9. We have somewhat similar to it. So we have x plus 2 the whole square is equal to 8. So now we simply take the root of 8. So we have x plus 2 as plus minus 2 root 2. Okay. So I have taken the root of 8, so I have x plus 2 is equal to plus minus 2 root 2. So now you know what to do. It's either x plus x equal to 2 plus 2 root 2, or it's 2 minus 2 root 2. So basically when you write the answer, you write it as x is equal to minus 2 plus minus 2 under root 2. So you have the two roots of your quadratic equation. So now you can see this is not something that you can easily get through the method of factorization. So this is the method that we actually can use probably with any quadratic equation. So this was our first example. Let's do more examples and see what exactly the general form that we can develop for this particular method. So the second example that we are going to do is 3x square minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. So in the last example I said that if you make your a as 1 in cases with x square, it becomes easier for you. So what we are going to do is we are going to divide our entire equation by 3. So we basically get x square minus 5 by 3x plus 2 by 3 equal to 0. So what we are exactly trying to do is we are trying to make our a as ax square plus bx plus c in that equation. We are trying to make that a as 1. Yani the coefficient for x square, we are trying to make that 1. So now you know what to do. Similar, the one we did in the above question, it's just similar to that. So we are going to follow our steps. We are going to take the constant to my RHS. So I have x square minus 5 by 3x is equal to minus 2 by 3. So in this case, my next step is to make this particular bx term in the form of 2 into some number into x. So if I try, breaking my 5 by 3 in the form of 2 into x, to 5 by 3x in the form of 2 into x into something. So what can be that something such that I get this? So 5 remains my 5 only basically, because I cannot split it. So what exactly will be my denominator such that this equation is basically maintained? It will be 6. And how exactly am I getting it? What I am doing is, it's just too simple. Whatever you have your bx term as, if you can't split it in the form of 2 into x into something, like in the above case, you could easily split it 4x as 2 into x. So what you do is you simply multiply and divide your this bx part by 2, and you take this 1 2 out here to get 2 into x into whatever is left, that is 5 by 6. So this is the exactly how you get your, you split this particular part into this form. So now I have x square minus 2 into x into 5 by 6 is equal to minus 2 by 3. So now you know what is the term which should be added with a square on both the sides. So you do x square minus 2 into x into 5 by 6 plus 5 by 6 whole square is equal to minus 2 by 3 plus 5 by 6 whole square. So now you know your LHS becomes the perfect square. So now this time remember it's x minus a ka whole square ka formula. Okay, so now you write this, when you simplify this thing you'll get minus 24 plus 25 by 36, which will give me 1 by 36 in return. So when I take my under root for 1 by 36, what I'll get is, I'll get x minus 5 by 6 is equal to plus minus 1 by 6. So this is my answer as of now. So now I'll get my proper x as x is equal to 5 by 6 plus minus 1 by 6. So my 1x becomes 5 plus 1 by 6, that's 1, and 5 minus 1 by 6, that is 4 by 6, which gives me 2 by 3. So my answer is x is equal to 1 and x equal to 2 by 3. So this is basically our method of completing the square. Okay, so now let's generalize, let's see the deduction algorithm. Let's apply it on ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 and c. Okay, so basically the deduction algorithm that we are using is, this is just, you know, generalizing. I'm just generalizing it for you so that it becomes easier for you to follow these steps. So the first thing that you do is you divide your equation by a. Okay, and then you get x square plus bx by a plus c by a equal to 0. So this becomes your equation after you divide your equation by a. So this was your first step. The next step would be you rearrange this equation. Basically, how you bring your constants to the RHS. Rearrange such that your equation becomes like this. So your equation becomes like this. Okay, the next step will be splitting this up, your middle term up. So how exactly do we split it up? In the form of 2 into x into b by 2a. So you can see basically in the general form also you actually multiply and divide by 2, which gives you minus c by a. So now what you have is, you can actually you know, take the whole square of this particular part and add it on the both sides. So it becomes x plus 2 into x b by 2a plus b by 2a whole square is equal to minus c by a plus b by 2a whole square. So now what you do is, after this, let's just generalize. The next step is our LHS becomes perfect square, and our RHS we just simply solve it. Okay, and we simplify it basically. We simplify it. Okay, and the next step is you basically you solve further to get your x. So this is the basic algorithm you are using, the deduction algorithm you are using in your completing the square method. And this basically you can use it for any quadratic equation you have. There is no such failure in the, like we observed it for factorization, that sometimes you can't split your middle term such that, you know, it's easily identifiable which pair should be used to split the middle term. So this is the completing the square method. So let's see a few more examples. So the next example that we are going to do is 5x square minus 6x minus 2 equal to 0. So again we'll follow our deduction algorithm, according to which our first step is dividing an entire equation by a. That is, my x square 6 minus 6 by 5 x minus 2 by 5 equal to 0. So this is our quadratic equation. I take my constant to my RHS. I have somewhat like this. It becomes equal to 2 by 5. Now I try splitting my 6 by 5 in the form such that, you know, I have 2 into x into something. So I know that my 6 can be written as 2 into 3. So I'll just simply write 6 by 5 x as 2 into 3 into x upon 5. So here in this case you didn't actually have to multiply and divide by 2. Why? Because 6 can be, you know, split into the factors, that is 2 and 3. We use that method with probably numbers which actually cannot be split into 2 into something. Okay, so what we can write in this case is 2 into 3 into x by 5. So we write it as x square minus 2 into x into 3 by 5 is equal to 2 by 5. So the next step will be taking the square, adding 3 by 5 whole square to both the sides. So I have x square minus 2 into x 3 by 5 plus 3 by 5 whole square is equal to 2 by 5 plus 3 by 5 whole square. So my next step will be writing this as a perfect square. So my x minus 3 by 5 whole square becomes equal to, if I try solving this, I have 10 plus 9 upon 25. So that will give me 19 by 25. Okay, so I write this as x minus 3 by 5 is equal to plus minus root 19 by 5. So my answer becomes x equal to 3 by 5 plus minus root 19 by 5, which you can actually write as x is equal to 3 plus minus root 19 by 5 like this. So this is my answer. So this was the third example. So next example that we are going to do is, this is the last example. So 4x square plus 3x plus 5 equal to 0. So this is the next example. So again the first step we'll follow, we'll divide our equation by the a, whatever a we have. So it will give me x square plus 3 by 4x plus 5 by 4 equal to 0. I'll take my constant to the RHS. So I have x square plus 3 by 4x equal to minus 5 by 4. So now I'll try splitting my 3 by 4x in the form of 2 into x into something. So basically I do this because 3 cannot be written as the factors of 2 into something. So when I do this, I have 3 by, this was 4, so 4 into 2 becomes 8. So we have this as x square plus 2 into x into 3 by 8 is equal to minus 5 by 4. So this is our equation. Now I'll add 3 by 8 whole square to both the sides. So I have x square into 2x 3 by 8 plus 3 by 8 whole square is equal to minus 5 by 4 plus 3 by 8 whole square. So now if I try solving this RHS, I have minus 5 by 4 plus 9 by 64. So again on further simplification, we have minus 80 plus 9 by 64. So this basically gives me minus 71 by 64. So I'll write this thing as, my RHS is a perfect square. Okay, so I have it like this, and this particular thing on solving, I have minus 71 by 64. Now if you see, whenever you have a real number, be it positive, negative, whenever you square it, you never get a minus sign. Okay, like whatever be the number, whenever you square it, you never get a minus sign. Therefore this particular thing is less than 0. That is, the square, whenever you square this part, this is less than 0. That is, you don't have real roots. That is, there are no real roots of x for this equation that, you know, that satisfies this equation. Because if x would have been real, then this minus sign wouldn't have appeared upon this squaring part. Okay, so so now we conclude here by saying that this particular equation has no real roots. This implies that this equation has no real roots. So this was one of the very unique examples that we could have done, that where we are actually getting that whenever we get a particular square, we are getting a negative number. We'll study about this in our further classes, that what exactly does this mean, in depth. So basically it was because it has the value for x, we don't have any real values for x, because we have this minus sign upon squaring it. So this was your method of completing.
And so we come to an end to today's lecture. Thanks a lot for watching this, and stay tuned for the upcoming ones. Don't forget to follow @fastesthumancalculator and @exp.infi on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.